have Lafarge cement plant. It's just west of Bath, and my son worked there for a couple of years, and my son-in-law still works there. He works in the pit on the heavy machinery in the quarry, I guess. And you get a good view of the gap between Amherst Island and Prince Edward County. About 3 kilometers between the points. And that's looking right out into Lake Ontario. Right now, the area that we're in is actually called the North Channel. And we'll be heading in that direction. There's a good shot of the gap going out to Lake Ontario. Sailing vessel out there. So this area could get quite rough in that if the wind is coming from the west. Over here is, you can see the old Lennox generating station. That was started construction there in 1970. My dad was general superintendent there, and we moved to Napanee in '71. My last year of high school, so I was very upset in moving here. Did not want to move away from Sarnia. First day of class in my new school, I thought I had gone back into the 1950s because a lot of the guys are from the farm, and they had their hair short, brush cut, or a couple of them had them slicked back, like 1950s style. Anyways, I made friends very, very quickly, and that was the greatest year at high school ever. So really, really enjoyed it. Very friendly people. I worked at Lennox Generating Station for 3 summers, and it was kind of funny because in the hydro community, you'd have the same families move from one job site to the next job site. You know, all my life I was doing that. And so some of the superintendents and foremen, they were like family to me. I'd grown up knowing them personally, and when they'd be coming around, all the other workers would be, scampering around to make sure they look busy and giving the warnings like, "Oh, a superintendent's coming," or they can just call them white hats. White hat is coming, and half the time I would just be chit-chatting with any of the superintendents because they were friends of the family. So it was a fun situation. The other gas plant there, generating station, is a new gas plant, peaker plant. And both these plants are right on my father-in-law's old farm. So the Craven farm is right there. And in fact, the new gas plant is pretty much situated where my wife's old house used to be. On the far side, on Prince Edward County side, you can see Premier's Cove, little marina. If you want to transient dock for the night, you have shelter there. And we are heading in a southwest direction on the Adolphus Reach right now. We'll be in this direction for probably another hour and a half, 2 hours. Then we will be starting to turn north, northeast, and follow the Hayward Long Reach. And then, of course, northeast direction up the Napanee River. So later, west wind will help me. But it's quite nice conditions today. A little overcast, but that's going to clear up. But I'm not worried anyways. I've got plenty of reserve to get home. So I'm moving along at about 8.8 kilometers an hour. Of course, that's with the wind helping me. And this is turning out to be a beautiful day. The wind is just gently at my back, cruising along nicely, clear skies, a little cloud cover, not much, but it's only 10 after 10 in the morning. Now, why couldn't the rest of the days have been like this? This is a perfect day for, well, not quite perfect, but this is what you need for a solar electric boat for cruising along without any issues. Anyways, we're still in the Adolphus Reach, and probably for another half hour, and then we will be starting our turn northeast. Okay, we started our turn on the Adolphus Reach. This is at the elbow in the reach where you start to turn more of a northern direction. And soon we'll be at the Glenora Ferry. And you can see in the distance Glenora Ferry that goes across, and those buildings are, well, the dock is there for the Glenora Ferry, but also those old buildings are fisheries. And right above that is the lake in the mountain, mentioned that before. And there's a restaurant and bar up there that overlooks the reach. And then right probably about here, just a couple kilometers down the road from the lake, was a building called Secutron. It was a company called Secutron, and that's where I had my first permanent job after I got out of college. Worked there from January 77 through into May 79, and that's when I left and went to Nortel. Okay, we'll be coming up to Glenora Ferry shortly, and it's just 11 o'clock, so making good time. Figured that we'd be there about a quarter after 11, and so it looks like we're pretty much right on schedule. And here is the Glenora Ferry, and fisheries over there. And then right at the top, you can see those red umbrellas. And that's a little patio restaurant, pub, that you could sit out on their patio and look over the reach. A beautiful view. Then right across the road is a restaurant, a nice little restaurant. And so typically we would go and make our reservations at the restaurant for dinner, and then walk across the road to the patio, sit out and have a drink, and then go back for our dinner at the restaurant. And that's right where the lake is, on Lake in the Mountain, and that is about 180 feet above where I am now. So if you get a chance to come to Prince Edward County, definitely you got to visit Lake in the Mountain. Okay, ahead of us is another cement plant. It's not Lafarge, I don't believe. I think it's St. Mary's. Not sure. It's just before you get into Picton. And here comes the ferry, the other ferry. There's two of them. And it'll go right over to the far side over there. So in that far direction, going southwest, there's a long inlet that will go right into Picton, town of Picton. That's a nice little town to visit as well. But we will be heading in this direction, northeast, and going into the Hayward Long Reach that leads up to the Bay of Quinte. So Hayward Long Reach was named after Bob Hayward, who was the driver of the Miss Super Test back in the early 1960s. That was a high performance speedboat, and he was killed on the Detroit River. It flipped over and he was killed in that accident. So they named this reach after him because he used to race that boat up and down the Hayward Long Reach. We're in the Hayward Long Reach, heading north, pretty much north right now. We will be turning northeast a little later. Very beautiful today. Over to my right is Hay Bay. And way in the distance, you can see the stacks of the Lennox generating station that I went by earlier this morning. And way off in the distance, you could see the water tower for Deseronto. That kind of marks the beginning of the Bay of Quinte. And also, if you go to the right, that's the Napanee River. And that's the direction I'll be going. There's the town of Deseronto in front of us, and over there is Forester's Island, and this is the Bay of Quinte that we're coming into. So you don't want to go between the Forester's Island and Prince Edward County. There's only about 2 feet of water there. So you need to go around Forester's Island, to the north of it, and go along that way. We'll be veering off towards the northeast in that direction. That is the mouth of the Napanee River. So right from this point, it's about 12 kilometers to my dock. Getting very close. And we're now heading in a northeast direction on the Napanee River. The wind is still coming from the north, and supposedly it was supposed to change to the west by this time, but it hasn't yet, so that's not going to bother me too much. The big thing will be the weeds ahead. So the last couple of days, it's been great, out in the lake, no weeds. But back in the river, it'll be a problem. Oh well. And we're coming up to my dock. My son's standing on the dock, filming me coming in. So this will be 530 kilometers total, round trip. And I did it in 14 days. And my dog Chloe waiting for me. And I better slow down a little. And time to put the camera down.
Exactly. All right.
Well, I'm back at my dock in Napanee. I left Bath at 8 a.m. this morning, and it is now 2 minutes to 3. So pretty good time getting here. That's 58 kilometers. The weather conditions were pretty good, pretty favorable all day. A little bit of a north headwind as I came up the Napanee River, and that's about it. Grand total of 530 kilometers in 2 weeks. Now, I did not complete the Rideau 100% because I didn't go down the flight of 8 at Ottawa. And that was my original objective, was to do that. But as I mentioned earlier, was not able to do that. So the record's still open. Nobody has ever done that right from Lake Ontario to the Ottawa River and back. They've done one way through it. There's been several solar electric boats that have gone one way, but never both ways. Not that I know of anyways, so I believe that's still open. Anyways, it's been a great trip. Thanks for all the comments from people along the way and people on Facebook. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks.